with some beautiful new colors. Look at the background. Look at it. I got more boards and such. Nope, same old boards and stuff like that. But before we get into anything like crazy madness here, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. You know what the deal is. I don't just come in here brand new, all like hairy. I'm still a hairy. I got a lot of hairy. I'm more hairy than Harry the Greek. Hey, 1252 Sports. Much love to you guys. I'm seeing you pretty soon. But you know what to do. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Do everything you gotta do to know when North Sports Dynasty is live. No, Sports Dynasty is here. That's right, it's me. So like, share, follow, subscribe. North Sports Dynasty for your weekly player updates, your weekly shows. That's right. I'm doing weekly shows again. I decided to do it in the middle of the offseason when there's actually literally nothing to talk about. And I've literally decided to do the show a little bit differently, where we do like a lot of different things. But the major thing that we still talk about here is obviously my Buccaneers and football and fantasy. Man, that's right. We're still here talking about everything you need to know about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is going to be coming up here pretty damn soon. And we're going to be talking about the offseason, Brady's last season. We're going to be talking about the training camp and the rookies that we got. But also, we're going to be talking about a little bit about why Bruce Arians is staying around. He's not the head coach anymore. Is he getting our new quarterback? We'll talk about that here pretty soon. We also got Let's Talk Football's very own Sydney Swinton joining us here for the very first episode of the new season. Talk about the Steelers and what they did through the draft. A little bit about the future going ahead. And Mike Tomlin being the greatest head coach in the NFL right now. Ooh, let's talk to him a little bit about that in a bit. We also got our team player rankings. Arch Manning alert is going to the Longhorns, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And we will end it off tonight with some high-stakes, high rewards. Of course, I wouldn't be here keeping you up to date on the Tampa Bay Lightning, wouldn't I? I would be, even though I don't like the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm going to keep you updated on this game because I'm kind of hoping that they actually make it through. It'd be nice to see a team actually win 3 straight in the salary cap era. So let's dive right down into the nitty-gritty of things. Make sure, since I'm doing this by myself, everything's a little bit like scattered everywhere. I haven't actually been all like jittery in a little while. Like I'm coming the nerves are coming down. And that's because of cannabis. I mean, to my American friends, you can't say that in their states. I'm sorry. Because we all know that there's crazy stuff going on in certain states right now. I'm looking at you south of the border. So let's get into it. All right. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about them first. But first, I want to see how many people are in the comment section here. Oh, first comment. Sydney Swinton of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's right. There we go. And let's go, Sean Spencer of Let's Talk Football, the leader, I think. Or it's Janae. Or it's both. I don't know. But listen, if it's Janae's, and I keep saying it's Sean's, I don't want to be hit when I meet her in Detroit. So you all better figure out whose is what and what is whose, because I'm not getting no I don't think so. Ash Swinton, Miss Swinton, Sid Swinton's wife says, no, I want it to be first. Well, sorry, that's your husband. That's the way it goes. Bear's first. Thank you very much. Kate is here. She's my spirit animal. It's back. I love her so much. Thank you for tuning in. Red Wing fan, Buccaneer fan, pretty sure Piston fan, and I'm pretty sure that would make her a Tiger fan, but I'm not going to speak for her. She can speak for herself into the comment section here. We also got Ash Swinton says, loving the new intro. Thank you very much. Van Cornett says, I thought you'd be more excited about your return, Mr. What? Do I not have enough excitement coming through? I thought my microphone was broken. My fiance sitting there like, I can't hear you. I'm like, are you sure? I can be louder. I only have 3 volumes. Loud, very loud, and who the hell is yelling at me? That's me. David Mosier, also a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, says, do you think Gronkowski will be back midway through the season? I actually do. And I actually have some Dynasty questions about him. That's what I want to see here, or want to talk about later on here. So let's get into it. I got some videos and stuff like that and some new intros and stuff I want to get going here. So before we talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, let's do the proper intro for our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are here to stay. That's right, for at least this year anyway. I spent all day trying to say that line. Oh, I can't believe I got it. Clip that. Thank you. We're done. Roll tape. No, I'm just kidding. So, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season are coming. We have finally one last shot at redemption. And a lot of fans are out there complaining, what? Are we to give up our future in order to see the light of day? To hold the trophy one last time? In order for Brady to get his last finger with some sort of rock on it? And the answer at the end of the day is always yes. It's always yes. It's not necessarily us, the fans, that are saying yes, that the ears have to be open to. It's ownership. It's what the owners will always want to do for these teams. And we're just so lucky as Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans to have the one type of ownership that will literally go and do things, as I've talked about before, that are a little weird, a little bit different. Like going and trading for a head coach and giving up draft picks for it. Well, inevitably it worked. For letting a 42, 43, 44-year-old quarterback come in and lead the offense in an already stacked team in what was once a stacked division. We did it, and it worked. Both times it's led us to Super Bowls. These Super Bowls that we have combined are still more than the Buffalo Bills and the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Sorry, Lions fans. Combined, the Seahawks and the Saints. Combined to some other teams here. I can't even name all these other. Arizona Cardinals. I don't want to keep throwing all these teams under, but this is what we go for every single year. Every single championship is not the same. Every single championship is different because there's different players that come in every single year that are always chasing their own legacies. Right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we have one last season to do so with what we call our own GOAT, the greatest of all time. He decided to bless us. We have a lot of fans who are getting sick and tired of it already. I'm like, why are we not paying for this, and we're allowing Godwin to make all this money, and I got no depth at any position? Okay, but we still have draft picks. Bruce Arians hasn't left. We promoted from within. If anything, isn't this the way that you want to go into the future, Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans? I mean, look at the roster we have right now. We're loaded on the defensive side of young guns, young potential, ready to show exactly what they can do for time in and time out for many years to come. And the cap is only going to go higher and higher every single year, especially with the NFL dominating, especially with up here in Canada. That's where I'm from, by the way, if you're just tuning in, like and share. North Sports Dynasty. I'm Canadian. We need as much help we can get right now. Did you know that $1 American could actually save the lives of many people in Edmonton here with the current prices of everything? But the NFL is growing. Football is growing. It's not just American anymore. Hell, it's pushing its way into Canada to the point where the CFL took a pause. That's the Canadian Football League. Not like my betting app likes to call it the Championships Football League. It's the Canadian Football League. And for some odd reason, they paused and they said, maybe we should actually be a little bit more American. And never in my life did I actually stop and say, I agree. I actually do agree. We should be a little bit more American. And I'm not saying that we should be full American. I'm not saying we should lose our whole league or anything like that. No, but what I'm saying is that football is growing. This is a national sport. This is something that is not going to die. This is something that is taking over baseball and what it used to be for a good 70 years. And I'm okay with it. Problem now becomes, for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers is what happens into the future when this offseason is done, or when this season is done. What are we looking for? Are we looking for the future, fans? Are we thinking that we're going to go back into inevitability for the next 18 to 20 years? We'll get into the discussion of Bruce Arians and what I think he's going to do here in about 5 minutes. But first, look at the current roster that we have. Look at the little training camp that we had here. You know, we're doing good. Yeah, one injury at a key position, and it might hurt us, but I mean, those key positions that we are talking about were also injured during the playoff game in which we had the LA Rams at the very end. So, of course, we inevitably lost to the LA Rams because we decided to do Todd Bowles' scheme. Todd Bowles decided to do the play call. But I'm not putting full blame on Todd Bowles. Because we lost the LA Rams, he didn't just get promoted. That's not how it works. But this team is ready to compete again. We've added in veteran talent. We have traded for players at positions that we have lost in the offseason. We haven't necessarily lost all of our positions in the offseason due to the fact that we can't pay them all. Hell, we just had, and I will have a show about this, top 5 of all time, Ali Marpet, the left guard position, retired. That guy was a key, pivotal part of our offensive line. And as I've heard many people talk about this offseason so far in Dynasty shows and even just power ranking shows, and they want to talk about players and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how this offensive line is going to go back to the way it used to be. Can you show me why? I understand that Kappa and Marpet and Jensen were the integral part of that offensive line, and 2 of them are gone. But it's not going to take long for 3 of these guys, who are all nasty brawlers, by the way, to finally get it together and click. If anything, the left tackle position that we have right now that everybody keeps talking about is the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about. Donovan Smith may be a good quarterback, a good left tackle statistically. But at the wrong times have we seen over and over again, Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, the wrong time these pass rushers get to our quarterback. When we need the first down, when we inevitably need that push, there's something that always happens with Donovan Smith. That's the one key position right now on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that I am worried about on that offensive line because of the depth. Tristan Wirfs has been coming off some injuries. We've been banged up, but we have drafted some. We have traded some. I'm not necessarily going to be disappointed in that offensive line if it finishes mid-pack in the season. By the way, for all of you out there, puck drop has just happened in the Tampa Bay Lightning and Colorado game. Let's go, Lightning. Drop it down in the comments section so everybody out there in the nation knows who you're going for. Unless you're Robert Ewing and my buddy Jesse Groundwater, you guys, props to you guys for being Avs fans, but understand I'm a Red Wing fan, and we got a freaking documentary coming out here on Sunday. Y'all are going to understand why I became this fan of the Red Wings. So let's go Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. Fuck the Avs, and I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. Now, with regards to what I've been saying with this whole Tom Brady thing and how it's his last season, is it because somebody decided to retire him? Maybe. Is it really because he decided to get bored? Kinda. Is he going to go to a different team afterwards and bless them for another year or two? Who knows? Are you going to be mad, though, Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans? Are you the ones that are going to sit there and be offended if he goes and blesses the Miami Dolphins for 2 years? Why? Got a really good team right now. It's not like we're horrible for cap room. It's not like we have issues doing things that need to get done to win. Hell, if we wanted to, we'd probably send a great package over to Green Bay and convince Aaron Rodgers to come down for 3 years. Hell, Russell Wilson package looked pretty good. The Deshaun Watson situation, don't even get me started with that one. We'll have to have a whole freaking show on that one and censor it like the latest episode of The Boys here on Amazon. Like, we can do something if we need to. Tom Brady has blessed us here for the last 3 years now. It's felt like an eternity. I don't even remember him playing for the Patriots anymore. It's okay. Got one more season. Enjoy it while it lasts. We got young guys here on the offense and defensive side. We're going to be fine here in Tampa. Now let's talk about this discussion here I wanted to bring up about Bruce Arians. Now, Bruce Arians did not leave the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No. He basically retired, but he didn't retire. No, did he? Now here at NSD, when I get a chance, I am going to be writing some articles. And I'm going to be dropping them down on the page. And the first article I'm going to be writing about is this particular thing right here. Is Bruce Arians staying to grab the franchise quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going forward? Why wouldn't he? This man has literally been the quarterback whisperer of the NFL for the last, 20 plus years. The man has coached, let's see, let me get my list out here so I don't forget anybody. Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Carson Palmer, Tom Brady. Of course, he's had other people that he's had to coach in there. Cobb, Drew Stanton, Jameis Winston. Probably another one I'm forgetting in there. My point is, though, is this guy has gotten the best out of the quarterbacks that have already been in the system. Bruce Arians has made a book. There's a couple of quotes in that book that I can't necessarily pull up right now, that I can't say fully, but he basically implies that he's never had his chance to just have his own growth, his own quarterback to just mold. He's been able to do that as an offensive coordinator, as a quarterback's coach, and as an intern head coach, where there's this 9-3 that's not technically yours. It's not your record. It's Chuck Pagano's. This eluding factor of he never had a Super Bowl for the longest time, and people wanted to call him one of the greatest for the no risk it, no biscuit style. Bruce Arians finally came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He inherited a Jameis Winston. We can have that debate any day you guys want. But he inherited a Jameis Winston situation with a crappy offensive line and a lot of people who were broken in that locker room who are still there because they weren't winning. Because they knew exactly what the team could be. And Arians came in and in the one-off season had an opportunity to finally draft the quarterback he wanted to. In a draft class that would have involved Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers would have had to give a package in order to get any of these guys to get up there. But instead, we got the greatest of all time. He came in. And of course, Bruce Arians is never going to say it publicly. He's happy that he's got his ring. He's happy that he led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to success. He is happy through and through. Always will be. But he's the quarterback whisperer. It would be like, in a weird way, people who know me as Foobs and say that for some odd reason, I got famous for being somewhat of an actual decent actor. But really, at the end of the day, I'm a funny guy. And if I didn't ever get a part as a comedian in any role, I would never feel accomplished of what I was searching for. Always as a Shakespearean actor, never as the comedian. That type of thing. The man never got to mold his own. The man has never got to mold his own. He's always had to try and fix other people's problems, or always gotten to be the second fiddle. Indianapolis and Pittsburgh, which, by the way, we're getting to Pittsburgh here soon. We'll probably talk about that a little bit in there as well. This man has never got to mold his own. The only time he's ever got to draft a quarterback is Hal Trask. Oh, that second round pick that's currently sitting on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, that's right, but he retired. But he's still in there. And what is he? What is he now? A special consultant to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Scouting. It's one of his specialties now that he's even talked about. And if you look at some of the quotes that he's also said before, April 6, 2022, per Rick Stroud, I get credit and Tom Brady gets too much credit for what Byron does with our offense. One of the reasons I hope he gets all the credit he deserves this year is to get a coaching gig. That's about Byron Leftwich in regards to Tom Brady getting all the credit for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. June 10th, per Rick Stroud, I was going the other way. I wasn't thinking he was going to play in regards to Tom Brady. I was thinking about who are we going to get? Who wants to trade? There wasn't anybody to draft. That was obvious. Me to the public, I was fine with the two we had, Blaine and Kyle, because I've seen Blaine win with a good team behind him. Had Tom not come back, I probably would still be coaching. I couldn't give Todd that situation. Does that sound like a guy who is willing to finally hang it all up? To just sit back after like he did with the Arizona Cardinals and ponder the Cleveland Brown job and ponder this job and be, regarded as the nice head coach that could take over this situation? Nah, he came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a reason. Because he knew that out of all these teams around that time he came here, we were one of the only ones that really, really needed a quarterback. And everybody can debate the whole Jameis Winston thing, but you know what? Giving him $32 million would not have been the greatest thing ever. So what if Bruce Arians is all of a sudden sitting out back, not having to coach, not having to do anything too crazy now, except sit there, scout, run with the team whenever they go, but he can sneakily go off to Oklahoma and scout a kid. He can sneakily go out to Kentucky and scout a kid. Ladies and gentlemen, how many teams do you see behind me up there need a quarterback next year? I mean, we all know that out of all the teams you see there, and by the way, I put a little W there. I'm sorry, Sean, I can't put the actual I can't do it, man. You're going to have to send me a sticker of the new logo, okay? It's just a W right there. But out of all those teams, how many of them actually need a quarterback? And then when you ask yourself that question, how many of them are actually going to need a quarterback that are actually going to be that bad? Does Houston grab a quarterback? Seattle probably does. More than likely Detroit, though I think we're all holding out hope that they do it in 2024. You know what I'm saying? But how many of these teams actually do need a quarterback? How many of these teams, if they have success this year with the quarterbacks that they have, would run another year with them? Houston goes 5 wins. They keep Davis. Chicago gets 6 wins. They're going to keep Justin. Hell, even Seattle, they're going to probably grab their quarterback. Let's be real here. Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, welcome to Seattle. But out of all these other teams here, who really is going to need a quarterback? The Packers will if all of a sudden Rodgers decides to up and retire. Minnesota might look at it, but they even kind of like Kellen Mond too. They might be in the same situation as Tampa Bay, where you might be a playoff team and you might be drafting too high. Might have to send a big trade package down. What about Miami if they don't like Tua? Even though that doesn't sound like it's going to happen. Cleveland has lost their first round pick. Atlanta? Carolina? You really think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wouldn't all of a sudden sit there and make a package deal for one of these teams up there like Houston? You don't think that wouldn't happen? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers has given up a lot to get what they want. And if Bruce Arians gets to sit there and have a job and retire and all of a sudden allow all of his friends and family that he's worked hard with and for the last 10 plus years to sit there with this already assembled Super Bowl winning team, by the way, and you put this kid in there, like Kyle Trask, in my opinion, but all of a sudden some of these other quarterbacks that are going to be available in the draft, besides CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, you look at Will Levis from Kentucky, Tyler Van Dyke, Devin Leary from North Dakota State, Anthony Richardson from Florida, if we want to start going in a weird Lamar Jackson style route. My personal favorite, Tanner McKee from Stanford, Jaron Hall from BYU. These are all quarterbacks that, no offense to my Steeler fan about to come up here in 3 minutes, better than Kenny Pickett, better than Malik Willis, better than some of the other prospects that have come out in the last couple of years here, for sure. You don't think if one of them starts falling to 10, 11, 12, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would want? We wouldn't trade 3 first-rounders for it? Bruce Arians is up to something, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think he's just sitting there retired with a cigar in his mouth in the office, not looking at some of the quarterbacks of the future where he can still put his name on it. No, he's not the coach anymore. He doesn't want to necessarily be the coach anymore because he knows the situation that's out there, but he can still do the quarterback whisperer thing. Get the future head coach into the system like he did with Todd Bowles. Get your offensive coordinator the opportunities he needs, like Byron is, and then go out there, draft the quarterback of the future, and let him flourish in a system that you helped create for the team that gave you another opportunity and did whatever it is that you technically wanted to get you the championship. One thing that you never had as a head coach. It's almost as like a pay it forward. It's like a thank you. That's the way Bruce Arians is looking at it, in my honest opinion. So you tell me, ladies and gentlemen, is Bruce Arians even sitting there even thinking about it, or is he just hopping around with a job title thinking that he's top crap? What do you all think here? I see the comment section has been going crazy tonight. I appreciate it here. Let me start there we go. Ray Swinton says before the season. I'm assuming that is a relative of the Swintons. If it's not, it'd be really weird, actually. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Ben Cornett says, louder, clam chowder. All right, Red Sox for Kate, I'm a Cardinals fan. Why you gotta do me like that? That's all right. That's all right. We can live that. We can deal with that. Anthony Handy, thank you for tuning in. Tampa Who? What's up, Foops? Thank you for tuning in. David Motion says, I love Tony Dungy, don't get me wrong. But do you think if we would have got John Gruden and Brad Johnson a couple years earlier, would have had more Super Bowl rings? No, I actually don't. I think that the whole timing, the way that everything meshed, like right then and there, is the only reason why it happened. Just like the whole Tom Brady situation. So many things internally have to like spew at the beginning of the season and the middle of the season in order for something like that to succeed. Great question, though. Lightning! Arians will be around for a while. It's good to have his football knowledge in the front office. He definitely made Jason Light a better GM, in my opinion. You're not wrong on that either. Byron deserves a head coaching position. That's right, he does. Boobs from Jonathan Cook. Thank you for tuning in. I'm checking out the Facebook user here, and I thought this was all set, but I guess I was wrong. The way I see it, Arians didn't have the time to mold a quarterback. See, a lot of that was pressure by ownership. He had one shot at it with Jameis, I think the Glazers, and eventually BA realized that it wasn't going to work long-term with the Winston, so they swung for the fences and hit a grand slam when they brought back Brady in. Factor in the Bruce had health issues that led to him retiring the first time. We got Brady, and the rest is, as they say, is his and her story. This is true. Damn right. I'm just here for the Foobs rant. I know shit about football. Appreciate you, Jonathan. Looks like the Mass Gainers are doing the same to you as they are for B. Absolutely. Buddy, I'm trying, man. You see how much energy I give out and stuff like that? I can't keep all this stuff in. And I'm like, I got an itch on my nose, and everybody's probably like, damn, it's like, what is he doing on the side? Like, commercial time? No, I'm just kidding. Actually, there's going to be a commercial in a second, so we're going to get our guest here. Reminds me of the Duke with Coach K. He is still lingering around to help recruit. Damn right. Why not? When the organization helps you, you help the organization. Why not, right? So we're going to get a quick commercial coming in here, and then we are going to have our guest. I just want to make sure everything is all lined up for our Steelers fan to come in here and talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Steelers and what happened with them in the offseason and what's going to happen with them going forward. So commercial and then beards, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Bye. to my. This is where I do wish Alex was actually here. To my technical left would probably to my right. Sydney Swinton from Let's Talk Football, ladies and gentlemen, joining me in. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Dude, what is up, man? I love the energy. I feel like I gotta come in here, like, keep up with you.
As long as your kids aren't trying to sleep.
Yeah, they're not sleeping yet. Ashton's holding down the fort downstairs with that. But I can't say how much I appreciate being the first guest on the rebrand. This is awesome. I hope I live up to the hype. I at least brought the beard, so we're good there. But yeah. Oh, and then I was told.
The jorts! You got the jorts! Ladies and gentlemen, hashtag Sid Jorts. He brought the jorts. This is a joke that we had in the group chat. Then actually, now I feel bad. I put on jeans. Damn it. Honey, I need the jorts. I need the Daisy Dukes.
I had to come correct for the first show.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, so as I was saying, you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. You have been with Let's Talk Football for a little bit there. You got the Najee Harris jersey behind you there. So let's talk about them. You actually spent a first-round pick this year, and you grabbed Kenny Pickett. What are you thinking? Do you like? I mean, a lot of people say, tiny hands and gloves and all this kind of stuff. Does this have any effect on you, like, going forward, or do you think that this team is kind of built already around him where he's going to succeed anyway?
A lot of things about it. So I was wishy-washy about getting a quarterback. I'm super pumped that we didn't trade up for a quarterback because I didn't want to spend too much draft capital or anything we needed going forward on a quarterback because I didn't think we needed to go get a guy, and that's like our only piece we were missing because I mean our line was obviously an issue. We're losing, like, we lost Joe Hayden, so our cornerbacks needed some help. Stephon Tuitt retired, needed some help at middle linebacker. So we just needed a lot more pieces. I didn't want to give up too much to go get a quarterback or Kenny Pickett specifically, but the fact that he just fell to us, awesome. The fact that every single quarterback available was available at our pick and we picked him just shows that he was the guy from the get-go. That's awesome. I love that. I'm one to truly I trust the organization. The Steelers they're a historic franchise, do really good in the draft. They own the GM, the owners, and Mike Tomlin is amazing. So the other big thing about Kenny Pickett is he literally shared the facility with the Steelers for the last 4 years. They've seen everything this kid has to offer, who he is as a person. I mean, his practice reps, his work ethic, they know more than anybody about Kenny Pickett. So I fully trust that he's the guy going forward, or going to be the guy. And he was worth it to take it in the first rounds. So I'm pumped about it. I personally hope he doesn't start this year. I think I truly believe any quarterback coming into the league needs a year to sit. I think it just does better for them overall. So I was also very excited about the Mitchell Trubisky signing. When the season ended and Ben retired, I was screaming for Mitchell Trubisky. I wanted him over Jameis. I wanted him over Mariota. He was the free agent guy I wanted. So the fact that we got him, I'm all set for him starting this year and us being competitive.
See, this is the reason why, especially in Dynasty, when I posted the question the other day, if you're going to start a Dynasty, who do you want right now? And it's no slate at Mitchell Trubisky or anything like that. We saw what Najee could do last year, and everybody was like, assumptions I love Jonathan Taylor, don't get me wrong. I would rather much have Najee Harris, especially kind of with the Kenny Pickett situation, because he looks like he just might need, he'll get in there for a year. He might have a couple of growing pains and stuff like that, but he might actually be something going forward in this system. So that being said, you also in the second round, you got a wide receiver. And one of the wide receivers, I was actually hoping that would fall to a couple of different teams just because he's also that number one starter. Not saying I didn't want him there on Pittsburgh, but it's like you guys already have 3 or 4. So where does George Pickens kind of fit into this role going forward here in Pittsburgh?
So I think there's a couple different scenarios that can play out with Pickens. We lost Juju and we lost James Washington, so we did lose 2 of our top 4 receivers. Juju, I thought, was our true number one. A lot of people didn't like him just because of the off the field issues. For me, if you take the off the field issues away, Juju is absolutely a guy you want on your team. He works hard. I mean, he came back from a shoulder injury just to play in that playoff game. He didn't have to play in that. He wasn't technically ready to go, and he already knew he was moving on from the Steelers, so he had owed nothing to the organization to come back and do that. So just that alone shows you the character of Juju. I love Juju, so that's a big role to fill. Now, the other people say Deontay Johnson is our number one, and he also is in a contract negotiation and wants a new contract, and they won't get. He's going to want 20 to 25 mil a year, being a number one on a team, but we weren't going to give Juju 10 million a year. So what, in my eyes, I think the Steelers are preparing to move on from Deontay when he wants that money, because they're not going to pay him. I'm not sure he'll get it anywhere else, but I mean, he's going to chase it, which, I mean, kudos to him. Like, hey, go get your bag if you can get it. But from the Steelers standpoint, I think they're setting up to replace Deontay as the number one, whether that's Claypool or Pickens. I think both of them can do it. Claypool just was used in a terrible way last year. It was a jump ball guy, and that's all we ran with him. So I'm excited for Pickens to step in and be the route runner, possession guy that Deontay is, or take over, or Juju was.
Man, Pickens was. I know we got Anthony in the comment section who's a big Dogs fan and stuff, and I cannot. If he was healthy last year, like fully healthy, there is no way that Georgia even was not like, they would have dominated even more. Like, it would have been like, no offense against Tampa, like they would have dominated like how Colorado is dominating in the playoffs so far. Like, George Pickens is a completely different monster. I'm actually happy that he fell there to you guys, because now I used to hate the Steelers. Now there's too many Steelers in my dynasty leagues now and everything like that. There's you and my buddy Jose. He's the diehard. Like, me and him were dancing, and he's doing the whole Big Ben jiggle and stuff like that when we worked together. Like, this guy is an absolute beaut. So I've come around on the Pittsburgh Steelers a little bit. And I was really excited that you actually got more like to the offense here. But So now that we talked about your offense, your defense though, Minka just got re-signed. TJ I almost said JJ, but TJ is coming off of like one of the greatest, if not the greatest season of all time for an edge rusher. Mm-hmm. They got playmakers all over the place. So with that being said, what is the only hole, let's say, on your defensive side and on your offensive side going forward?
So defensively, there were a couple holes that we've already filled. So middle linebacker, like I said, was a hole, but then we signed Miles Jack, who I think is a very underrated offseason signing. Yes, he's going to absolutely fill in and be very nice. A lot of people were writing off Devin Bush coming off an ACL surgery. I just think he needed a year to get back into it. So I think that our middle linebackers are set now. Stephon Tuitt retiring was going to leave a hole there, but we just signed Larry Ogunjobi, another solid interior defensive lineman. So we're good there. The only place I'm worried about on defense is our cornerback situation. We lost Joe Hayden. So that's, a very big loss. We've got a couple guys. We did sign Levi Wallace, who was the starting cornerback for the Bills, the number one pass defense in the league last year, who lost Tre'Davious White. So Levi was the one. And we have him now. So another very underrated signing, I think, by the Steelers. But he's not the dominant cornerback that Joe Hayden was or anything like that. So I'm nervous there. And then on offense, it's definitely the line that we got to worry about. We did sign Mason Cole for center, and then we signed the Bears offensive guard. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Daniels. Yeah. So we did try and improve there. We didn't draft anybody on the line, which is a lot of what I wanted. I wanted to go get a dominant left tackle, just shut him down type guy. But the Steelers trust in what they got and being able to groom from within and make the players we have better. So I again trust the organization from that standpoint. Najee was Najee last year with a terrible offensive line, and we've only gotten better there with the two signings. So and that was another reason why I wasn't thinking we needed a world-beating quarterback, just because the Steelers are defense and run game, and then that's how we win. We don't need a quarterback to do that. And so the biggest offensive hole is going to be the question marks on the line, and the defense has got to be the cornerback.
See, it will be fun, though, if Kenny Pickett does become, he doesn't even have close to the build that Big Ben does. So anybody who says he's going to be the next Big Ben, no, he'll be the next Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
He'll be the next, respectable mobile quarterback that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. It ain't going to be Big Ben. But it would be really cool. I go back to that Pittsburgh Steelers and Jacksonville Jaguars game where it's like, well, our defenses can't do it today, so let's just slug it out.
Slang it.
Yeah, let's just see. And I really want to see what Kenny Pickett eventually can develop into that NFL quarterback. And if he can do something like that one day, it's going to be really, really fun because I've heard some commentators call him, like, in this offseason, he's a poor man's Trey Lance. And I'm like, we haven't even seen Trey Lance yet. So how do we even know if he's your rich man's Trey Lance? So
right.
A couple of comments here. Anthony says, commercial. Yeah, that one was trippy. Even when I made it, I was like, okay, I got to keep this because, like, this is perfect. And it literally looked like actual drugs. No, I'm just kidding. Cal says, let's go. Damn right. Your wife says, dang, Dynasty is looking legit. Loving the rebrand. I know. I like it too. I got a couple other videos that I'll eventually get to show off. Though I did keep a couple of the old ones for sure. Like, don't think that I didn't go and grab a couple of the, like, legit ones from back in the day. So Anthony Handy says, crap, if I didn't know you were going to talk Arch Manning, I saw the girl, I would have gladly come on as a guest. Anthony, we will get you on to talk Arch Manning here in the next week or two. We actually got up on the docket for next weekend. And again, someone's got to tell me if he's the owner or co-owner or creator, because I ain't getting hit.
It's both of them. It's Sean and Janae. They created it together.
Okay, co-host and co-creator of Let's Talk Football, Sean Spencer, will be on next week on Canada Day. Yeah, to talk the comedies. I did not do that on purpose, but oh man, the comedian in me has been writing some stuff for next week that I cannot wait to use. So he's going to be on next week. If you want to come on as a guest, anybody out there, anyone wants to come on as a guest, reach out to me and stuff like that. I ain't going to tell you no. I would love to promote everybody's platforms, everybody's shows. I want everybody to get shown out there. Create something a lot bigger than just one thing, just this comminglement of shows that eventually create something bigger than itself. That is what I'm looking to do. So don't you worry, Anthony. You will be on here too. This is Sid, a.k.a. The Instigate. Sid Instigate, are you sure? Because, I mean, if we're just talking about our group chat, I have seen some – it's not Sid instigating. I'm waking up to some weird conversations going on sometimes here. I understand the whole quote where it came from, but it was still like when you just wake up and you're like, whoa. Okay. Even for me. I says not the jorts. Does she know?
She saw them.
Yeah, okay. Ben Cornett, thank you for tuning in. Ben Cornett is 1 quarter. Oh, Tampa Bay Lightning score. I have to interject. Sorry, my apologies. Tampa Bay Lightning have scored. That is 4 minutes and 37 seconds left into the first period. They have scored in Colorado's hometown where everybody is already drunk thinking that they've won the Stanley Cup. It's the perfect time for the Lightning. I love this. As I was saying, sorry about that, Ben.
You're good.
Ben Cornett, 1 quarter? I don't even know how many hosts they have anymore. 1 quarter host or 1/5, I don't know. NFL edition, I think they're on Bucs Report and What's Happening in Sports there. Says, Trubisky will be a fine bridge until Pickett is ready. Yes, the offensive line needs work, but with a running back like Harris, it'll help both the line and Mitch a little bit. Oh, of course.
100%.
And like I said before, too, when Najee got drafted, first of all, I won a lot of money off of that. Oh, my God. Plus 1,600 for a 16th overall pick. Like, what? Why? Oh, it was so good. I loved it. But, yeah, no, I love Najee. I think Najee's going to be the reason why a lot of these offensive guys can develop into something a lot bigger than what they're being already looked at. Old Mitch missed a perfect opportunity by not learning how to grill. How goofy would it be to hear the color commentators talk about how his teammates call him True Brisket because he spends the entire season smoking brats, ribs, and chickens. And then he follows it up with I'll see myself out. Anthony, I adore you and your comedy in this. This is awesome. See, now everyone's understanding what this show was meant to be. You drop in the comedy. The dad jokes are always allowed. Ash also says, tells me about lots of dudes I love on the Steelers. Hard to hate. Well, I mean, She probably loves most of those players because of the fact that you guys have gotten together and you've been around and stuff like that. But I'm sure it's the same thing with you. Like, you obviously like a couple of these Cowboy players now too, don't you?
As long as my dad has left the chat, I can say that out loud.
So your dad's diehard
That was my
Steelers?
dad earlier. Yeah. That was my dad earlier too that commented.
Okay.
But yeah, he's diehard Steelers. I mean, he grew up in the 70s, the Steelers rivalry with the Cowboys. So I was raised to hate the Cowboys, hate them. And then I marry a Cowboy fan. So it was like the worst case scenario for my dad. So I never admit that I am associated with the Cowboys. I can't even say cheer or for the Cowboys. But yeah, I mean, I've come around. I really think CD is going to have a great year. I'm definitely a fan of Dak. I argue against Dak haters all the time. I'm also a Zeke fan. I think there's my dad. He just commented.
I was just gonna say, I see the angry. I was just gonna say, Ray Swinton. One of the shows that you got to tune in later on in the summer for is this cool segment that it started off literally me sitting right here in my office just trying to come up with new segments for the show. And Ash and Sid start going off in the comment section. I just go in there and I'm like, what if you created the greatest team assembled using only Steelers and Cowboys?
Yep.
And it turned into this real, there's a lot of cool players that were brought up that I totally forgot about, that you start trying to incorporate at different positions, and you start saying this player's better than this one, and who's your starting quarterback. We got some cool segments coming down here in NSD, and Ash and Sid are going to be coming in for the infamous Dallas versus Pittsburgh. I'll have a name for it, but we'll call it the greatest assembled team or whatever. We got that one. The San Francisco and Green Bay one I'm excited for. And then we have me and Sid here. Me and Sid have this stepbrothers moment in the group chat where we're trying to come up with the same teams that would look good, respectively to each other. And we both send at the same time Baltimore versus the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts. And then it just turned, and then Ash was even like, oh my God. So
yeah, that was awesome.
She also says sign Hayden.
I wish, man.
Do you have the cap to do it?
We do. We have cap space, but the Steelers don't like to give bigger contracts to older players.
No, they don't.
Tomlin's come out and said he won't give anybody their second contract unless we drafted them. So we're not going to sign anybody after their rookie deal, even if they're amazing, because that's when they're most valuable and they're overpaid and stuff like that. So and especially aging players. Joe Hayden deserves to get paid. He's an absolute stud at corner, and we're just not going to pay him.
Yeah, and it sucks, but the other side of it too is we've seen what the Steelers can get by being, say, 8-1, 9-8 now, 10-7 possibly, or whatever it could be. You could get a really good cornerback next year in the draft to develop as well. Something like that could possibly happen, or they trade. Minka Fitzpatrick trade also came out of nowhere one time, so all of a sudden. Jamel Dean by the Buccaneers could be thrown out there or something like that. And then you got another good quarterback. So anything can happen. Anthony says, nah, I only say that because UGA is not known for letting their QBs air it out. That's also, that's actually a fair point. The best tight end in NCAA football, Bowers, only had 882 yards in a championship season, and a ton of that was Yak. Good point. That's a very good point. And Ash said James Daniels. That's
the best guard we signed yet.
Bosa versus Watt brothers thoughts.
This is a very easy argument. 5 defensive player of the years to 0.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Next. I think we all can assume that the Bosas are going to be really, really good. And if one of these guys starts getting on a tear here, it's going to be awesome to see. But right now, it's Watts for sure. And even Ash is like, Kyle, stop. I haven't even gotten this far into the comment section, so that's why I'm laughing at some of these. Andrew, you have to be a special guest on the Lady Show. I would love to. I would literally go through the pain of waxing a leg just to be on that. I did it. I did that in grade 9. I was trying to impress this girl. I invited everybody out to my birthday, and she was like, I'll come to your birthday if you go through with waxing your leg. And I'm like, done. Totally done. Worst feeling I had besides the whole tattoo on my butt. And yes, I have a tattoo on my butt cheek. We don't need to go there.
You
But
say your name.
it does say your name. Thank you very much. Steve-O, I love you. But do digress. I would do that, and I would love to be on the show anytime, ladies. Just send me a message, and I will be on whatever we can do that. Kyle says have me on the show sometime. You think I wouldn't be having an Atlanta Falcons show before the season starts when you guys have Kyle Pitts and Drake London? Like, come on, dude. Got you and Anthony going to be coming on. We're going to be talking this madness here soon. Don't you worry. I'm here for the Commander slander. I feel as though I'm gonna have to message Sean and just to because I don't want to think I'm making fun of the Commanders at all. I might have to message him and just like come up with some sort of a funny video for next week, like me just doing a quick spoof where I'm like, I decided to celebrate Canada Day with the most American sports franchise of all time. Sydney instigates with me all the time. Yeah, but I mean, not all. It doesn't do it with everybody. It's not everybody. I mean. I've seen Nick, like I was saying, I've seen Nick go at. I've seen Anthony start smoke for no reason sometimes too. And I've seen all you ladies go at it too. Don't act like you're all innocent. Even my fiance's seen some of this stuff too, and she's like, "You ladies are crazy." I'm the saint of the group. Why would you even put that word in the same sentence of yourself, my friend? I'm the saint. Get out of here. Thanks for the plug, Andrew. Yes, NFL edition. Sorry, I was getting mad pasty there for a second. NFL edition, Ben Cornett. I think they're on Thursdays there. Go check them out on Bucs Report. Your dad with the angry faces. I like that. Schultz fan.
Hey, I was a big Schultz lover during fantasy last year, and Ash just hated it because he doesn't block. And I'm like, well, he doesn't have to block to give me fantasy points.
Nope. That's all I care about too. The funny thing though is I was actually watching the Loose Cannons podcast last night while I was working on some stuff for the show. And they had Evan Winters on, shout out to all of them there. And they were talking, I dropped in the comment section, well, who would we look at trading for a tight end, like for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of this whole Gronk thing? Like, what would you do? And out of nowhere, he brings up Dalton Schultz for the Dallas Cowboys and how he's on the last year of his contract and he just got franchise tagged. And I'm like, I mean, hey, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. I'm not paying that money for him, though. You can't block. I'm not paying for that. No, thank you. Does the tattoo say exit only, Andrew? No. But I did once want it to say that when I was younger, and then people were like, oh, yeah, cool. And then you go to jail or something like that. Literally have put in a target on your back there, buddy. And I'm like, yo, God, yeah, maybe with the way that I do things, that's not a good idea. Oh, you love the Saints? How cute. I had a picture. You are so lucky I did not get to put all the pictures that I wanted to hear that I know how much you love the Philadelphia Eagles here. Misador, thank you for tuning in. My God, please no need for a trade for a tight end. Cambray is solid. I agree. If we could, now this is the only other side of it, is if someone said, here's a 5th round pick for a solid 1 year to 2 year tight end, I would take it. Because I just want the Super Bowl this year. And then we can do the whole rebuild thing. So
yeah, and Cam Brate's nice, but you lost 2 in Gronk and OJ Howard, not just Gronk. So I mean,
though
a second tight end is needed for sure.
I'm in that. Oh, what was that post? He posted the thing. Okay. He posted his like retirement thing. And at the bottom, this might just me be reaching here, and all you Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans can say what you want. You can clip it, but when I'm right, if I am right about this, wait. He said set sails, right? Like set the sails at the end of that whole retirement thing, or like, you know, and obviously it's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer reference. Or he means to set sail across the ocean and he'll be back playing when the Buccaneers go to Europe. Oh, y'all didn't think of that one, did ya?
Gronk is not that intelligent.
Buddy, if he does it, I will have this thing clipped being like, just like I should go back to the show I was with you and Ash there talking about Arch Manning.
Arch Manning nailed
Yeah,
that one.
because it's like the first thing I said. Check that off the board. Hey, you should just go to Texas and get everybody excited. No state tax. I'm gonna check that off the board. And then what is Andrew has gone on record saying that he likes the Saints. Huge Winston fan. If you can find that, sure, without like clipping a bunch of clips
Random
together.
stuff together.
Yeah, no, I've never, nope. Not even when we worked together have I ever stated that. I'm pretty sure that I would leave the smoke pit when the Saint fan came out there almost every time because she would get offended. It's not my fault that the NFL gave you a Super Bowl because of a freaking hurricane. Sorry. I know
Took
that's
away from Pat McAfee too.
And thank you. Thank you. Didn't really lose. No,
No Jay.
No, Jay. That's true. Andrew, stop it. I know. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. Far Reach Calpitz runs the NFC South. Probably not wrong when it comes to tight ends. Just screen record him reading that comment, Cal. Oh, God. Yeah, that's what everybody would do. I know. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to throw up the power rankings and actually talk a little bit about Arch Manning here before we get into the high stakes, high rewards. But before we do that, let's get into another quick commercial, which is essentially basically just the same commercial, but because I only had time to make one. You know how hard these things are to make? So enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. NSD live here. I am your host, Andrew Faubert. They also call me Foobs. They also call me a lot of other things. I'm called a lot of things, actually, in this household, and you don't need to know a damn one of them.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, no. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NSD. I am here with our guest today, Sydney Swinton of Let's Talk Football, which I wish I had enough time to like put all this stuff. See, I got the Let's Talk Football in the background, but then like it doesn't show up. So I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry. I'll have more for you next week here. So power rankings. Just to quickly go over my power rankings, I've got them going down there at the bottom. I have your Pittsburgh at 22. I'm sorry. I do think your Pittsburgh will do a lot better than a lot of people are thinking this year. I do think it's a little ridiculous how they are ranked personally. I just, in my honest opinion, out of some of the teams that are going on right now that I just wanted to touch base on, the Rams I still think are number one. I still am holding true that Buffalo Bills will probably win their first Super Bowl this year. I just think that's probably what's going to end up happening. But a lot of people do not think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to ever go back to relevancy. And I just don't understand it. Tom Brady at the end of his career with the New England Patriots, he went 2-4 or something like that, or like 2-2 or 2-3, and everyone's like, "That's it. It's the first time he's ever done it in his career. It's over. It's done with. We don't know what the heck." Do we really think that's going to happen with Kansas City? Like Patrick Mahomes is like what 26. He's got a new set of receivers coming in like almost everybody else has to do because nobody likes to pay $25 million for a wide receiver. I mean,
By Deontay.
Yeah, I mean, by Devontae.
Yep.
Now, the other side is I understand if there's chemistry. Like Jamar and Joe ain't going nowhere. They're going to be Cincinnati Bengals almost for life. I think they'll basically open the paychecks for that one. But in regards to, Kansas City, they have a lot of chemistry still between Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire has developed into a solid pass-catching back, and they have the same coaching staff that's there. And that's the one thing that everybody keeps forgetting is coaching staff makes a difference at the end of the day, right? I mean, Mike Tomlin, you know damn well, you've had Mike Tomlin for how many years now? And you've
15.
had 15 years and no losing season. No losing season.
Not a one.
That's ridiculous. And people say stats don't matter. That's one stat that does matter. Like, oh, he's got what, 2 or 3 Super Bowls?
He's been to 2, only won 1.
Okay, so he's got the 1 Super Bowl. And even then, they'd be like, oh, he's only got 1 Super Bowl compared to Bill Pat. No. They have always been around. There's been Big Ben playoff games. There's been Steelers playoff games. The greatest playoff game of all time, in my opinion, is still your Super Bowl anyway. The Santonio Holmes catch. We've talked about that on shows and stuff. So,
Tomlin was the coach.
Yeah. Like, if you have the coach, it's going to work. And I know some people are probably looking at Seattle at 32. They're being like, you saying Pete Carroll's a bad coach? I'm like, no, I think Pete Carroll's just checked out.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on in Seattle. So what about any of these rankings that you see, or what do you think with some of these teams? Who do you think is going to surprise a lot of teams? What do you think?
Just run through them real quick. I think Green Bay is going to finish a little lower than that. I think Baltimore and Cincy will finish a little lower, not too far off. I like where you got Indy, maybe a little higher. Tennessee a little lower. The Browns need to be behind the Steelers. I have no idea what you're doing there. The Saints a little high. I think Jacksonville actually finishes a little higher than where they're ranked too.
Okay.
And maybe the Lions over the Bears. But I mean, it's all real close and I mean relative right now. But yeah, I like the Chargers a little. Yeah, I would probably not flip, but move the Green Bay back to like 7 and bump all those ones up. Baltimore, Cincy back a little.
Interesting. I actually like with regards to Indy. When they brought in Carson Wentz, everyone's like Super Bowl contender. And I'm like, oh, or sorry, not Carson before that with Phillip. And they said Super Bowl contender. And I'm like, playoffs for sure.
Right.
Don't know about that. I was like, the whole Tom Brady situation still too. I was like, I don't know about like Super Bowl. I would just hope the first year we do really, really good. And the second year, he's like, let's do this. You know what I mean? With regards to that though, they got Matt Ryan now. Does everyone just forget what Matt Ryan used to do like 3 years ago? And you just gave him one hell of an offense. You gave him a running back.
Yep.
You gave him an offensive line. Like
and their defense is stacked too. So like I like the Colts a lot.
I love the Colts. Like I know Pat McAfee. Like me and you are biased because we're McAfee fans. And we kind of like the Colts a little bit more here and there. But nah. I think the Colts are going to do really, really good.
Yeah. I like that.
The other part of this, though, that I wanted to bring up, of course, is the Arch Manning thing. Arch Manning finally got out there, finally going to Texas, has finally decided what school he wants to. He's got Quinn Ewers and a couple other guys that are still in there who are also really, really good quarterbacks.
Yep.
Now the question becomes, who's going to start doing things right now in their organization to ensure that they either have draft picks around then, draft capital around then, cap space? Like, who's the team that starts like doing things? And who's the team that's literally going to like have to go to court because they literally tanked to get Arch Manning? Like, who do you think it's going to be?
I mean, I'll tell you right now who it's going to be. And it's very unfortunate and it's going to ruin this kid's career. But Cleveland is going to be sitting there waiting to draft Arch Manning at number 1 because Deshaun is going to get suspended for at least a season, maybe more, and they've given up their next 3 first-round draft picks. So the first one that they get back will be a number 1 overall pick, ready to take Arch Manning.
Wow. I actually, you know what? Because then, like if they were like, you know what, we're either just going to let this whole like Deshaun Watson contract like fade out. If it actually did become it's one I never thought of. Because that's I was going to open this up to the fans out there too. Because like the whole Arch Manning thing, we're going to be talking about for years. I've been an Arch Manning fan for a while. I've been a Peyton Manning fan my entire life. That's how I got into football. I was more, when I was growing up, I was leaning more baseball and basketball more than anything. And then I saw one Colts game and I fell in love with football. And then I saw the Buccaneers defense play, and I fell in love with the Buccaneers right there. So now the problem becomes that I only got to enjoy so much of Peyton Manning in my high school days. I didn't have a chance to go to the States and didn't have too much money. And now that I have a little bit of money and the opportunity to actually go somewhere and watch a Manning play, he don't exist anymore. They're non-existent. Now all of a sudden, he got his little nephew, I guess you would say, coming in. And he's a more mobile version of him. So the questions now become where, of course, is this kid going to land? And, people are like, well, it's still many years away. The kid could get injured, this, that, and everything else. Totally. But we now live in a social media age where right about now is where you started hearing about Andrew Luck when he was in school and what that prospect was going to be.
Yeah, they talked about him for a long time.
Yeah.
It's more comparable to basketball because you see, we saw Zion for 4 years before he even was draft eligible. LeBron, even farther back, LeBron. Basketball, it's a little more, but we've seen high school athletes that were dominant in their respective sports and just wait for that time to come through. And Arch is probably the biggest football one I've ever seen, but just because of his name. And he is more athletic and more mobile than Peyton or Eli. And that's his dad was actually, I'm not sure how many people know, but his dad, Cooper, was a receiver for Peyton in high school. And he was supposed to go to college to play receiver. Imagine a Manning playing receiver. It just doesn't make sense. But that's the type of athlete he was, and that's his dad. And he hurt his neck and wasn't able to play football anymore, and that's what happened there. But Archie, who his namesake was also a mobile quarterback. So imagine Peyton Manning mobile. It's just if he's even 70% of what that could be, he's going to be a game changer for a franchise.
And I know a lot of people have even said, well, the league is starting to kind of get away from the kind of quarterback that he is. Well, respectively, Tom Brady still had success. Aaron Rodgers has still had success. Russell Wilson is still having success. Russell Wilson's trade package is, they don't just do that because he's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. And all those guys have mobility to them. So
all these young guys do. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Now, the best part, though, is Arch has got, as of right now, from what I've seen from video, if he incorporates what he already has into what he's supposed to later on to adapt to the NFL way, his mobility that he has at his size is going to be perfect because he can get hit like Andrew Luck did and kind of assess and then go down. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not going to get hit and then straight to the ground. This kid's going to be able to take some hits or be smart and go out of bounds. He'll be able to get that extra yard or two. It's going to be really cool to see where eventually he goes. I wanted to get right here. Arch Manning will take to the Lions to the Super Bowl. His uncle is gonna butt the team tickets. I don't know.
Buy the team tickets, maybe?
I thought I was high. Mesador, how dare you? Pete Carroll is definitely higher than their ranking. Fair. That is fair. I also agree. Manning is Texas for life. Now I have joked, and of course I said too, eventually he's probably going to go to the Dallas Cowboys. So that's still if he goes to Texas, I think he's going to the Cowboys. That's just me. Kate also says she loves the Manning family. Conspiracy theory. This is what I want to bring up. What if the whole DW deal was a calculated move to do just that?
Hey. They basically gambled to either get Deshaun Watson for their franchise for the next 10 years or Arch Manning. Honestly, it could play out that they get either. If Deshaun Watson only gets a year or even less than, which some people speculate, but hope not, that he at least gets a year. Then you get Deshaun. Yeah, exactly. Then you get Deshaun Watson and you have him for the next 10 years. But if that doesn't work out for whatever reason, if he gets, there's been rumors that he gets suspended indefinitely. And then it's not that that's not happened before. Josh Gordon was suspended indefinitely. Doesn't mean that you're never coming back. But if that happens, that could ruin their franchise. And it's not like they're going to get anything back. They gave up 3 firsts for him. Those are gone. Those are no matter what happens to Deshaun, those are gone. So
you are literally helping Houston build their team.
Yeah, 100%.
If and the only reason I have them higher than Pittsburgh is because I think, and this is weird to say, I know, Cleveland, to me, is built right now with the 2 running back system, now having the number 1 wide receiver there and everything else kind of just being like your subpar secondary, and your whole defense having everything. that defense is gross. I'm not going to lie. Like, they've had some people fall to them that I've wanted. Grant Delpit. Oh, I wanted Grant Delpit so bad on the Bucs, and he fell in rounds, and I'm like, damn it, that sucks. But their defense is stacked, and I just think that they could win a few games by just playing that scrappy running game, Kevin Stefanski style. But I do also think that if they only get like 6 wins, like just a top 10, top 12 pick, that's allowing Houston to keep going. They could take their top 5 pick or top 10 pick that they already have, because I don't think Houston's going to be that great. Don't think anybody really does think Houston's going to be that great. And they're going to get that edge rusher probably from Alabama. And then if they really wanted to, if nobody comes up and grabs a quarterback, because if they do the whole Davis Mills experiment for another year with whatever, right? But then nobody comes up for a quarterback. Then they go and grab the Texas running back. Then all of a sudden, like, the Texans are stupid at that point. And Cleveland's just like, oh, we're just going to build that team. Yep. We're going to suck until Arch gets here. The NFL would probably step in and be like, I see this coming. Though I have heard Alex say this before. Goff tanks, bring him to Detroit. He has stated before, he's like, I would suck all the way until Arch Manning got into the league to have Arch Manning. And I'm like,
I think a lot of teams would, for sure.
Well, and that's why in a weird way, I think this is obviously Tom Brady's last year. And if we don't get a quarterback out of the draft this year, I could see them doing a bridge 3-year deal and then making sure that they have themselves in the game in 3 years for somebody. So like, not necessarily Rodgers, but let's say the Kyler Murray situation does get out of hand and they're like, screw it, we'll give him a 3-year deal, right? Or even if Dallas says we want to go a different way and they let go of Dak Prescott, right? You know, just hypothetical, right? With some of these other quarterbacks.
Insert Ash losing her.
Oh yeah, Ash like just coming through the door being like, no, turn this off right now. So yeah, no, again, everybody would want the Manning name. Everybody wants to just put Manning on the jersey. It's the jersey sales. I have a Brady jersey right there, cried out loud. Goff, it's not called tanking when you just suck. Oh, that's rude. I mean, you went to the Super Bowl though, right?
Yeah.
You got no touchdowns. It sucked though. Sorry, Cooper also played QB a little, but Peyton was eligible to play, and Cooper excelled at wide receiver. That is true. Honestly, any team could be after Manning. Who knows what will happen at that time? And that's what kind of I'm saying too, is literally some team could have a bad injury of a quarterback that we would never think of. Honestly, we don't want that, but we're just throwing that out there. Many different things could happen, but yeah,
imagine it like the Colts situation. Peyton Manning for so many. There's no way anybody from a Colts standpoint thought the Colts were going to get Andrew Luck, and then Peyton Manning has the neck injury. All of a sudden, they are terrible for 1 year, get the number 1 overall pick, and boom! Imagine the
Matt Ryan.
Imagine the Patriots. It happens to the Patriots.
No.
Exactly.
I would hate that. I'm actually now
as well.
I'm more on the whole Colt thing where it's like, what if they did bring in Matt Ryan and they are going to keep him for like 3-4 years? And like on his last year when he's all old and decrepit and he's throwing like 5 interceptions a game, Frank Wright's trying to pull him out and ownership comes down and goes, don't you fucking pull Matt Ryan. Don't you fucking do that. Last game of the season, they're going for that 1 win, full Pat McAfee style. Pat McAfee's doing the live game. It's like, oh no, I've seen this before. Oh no.
Yep.
They would get so much money in fines and he wouldn't even care. It'd be put in another Manning jersey. The owner would probably die off into the sunset. And he'd be like, I don't even care. Doesn't care.
Matter. Yep.
Calvin Ridley has 28-3 odds at Misador.
That was a good comment.
That was really good. Bye. Browns aren't smart enough to calculate anything like that. Well, I mean, they did trade away essentially Deshaun Watson already, so this is true. Could be a Falcon, honestly, if Ritter doesn't work out. But I could seriously see him being a Buck. Hurts me to say it. That's what I mean too. Some of these teams can just put in stopgap quarterbacks for like 3 or 4 years, and then on that last year, just be like, I'm done with you. Like, what are you talking about? I just threw for like 5,500 yards. Be like, yeah, but did you? What's the more the offense? You know, like, what are you talking about? Why is that? What's on that jersey over there? Does that say Manning? No. No, thanks for being a Buck. Like, what? I am right outside the door and thought about the second. Fair enough. Too far away. Do you know what would happen with Manning and everyone wants him? So you can think of every scenario makes sense for your team to get, which is true, which is very, very true. Arch Manning could be a Bill. He could be a Jet. He could be a Titan. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. His brother played for the Tennessee Volunteers, and he goes and actually plays for like the actual football team version of it. That'd be interesting.
It could be a Steeler if Kenny Pickett doesn't work out.
Right
at that time that his rookie contract's ending, we just are bad. And
Mike Tomlin just like putting his foot out on fields when Kenny Pickett's running and stuff like that. And you're like, what are you doing, coach?
Mike Tomlin wouldn't stand on the field to prevent a Jacoby Jones kickoff return for a touchdown. He wouldn't do that.
No.
I mean,
actually, I saw that clip on the one podcast where he was talking about it. And I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, I really want to believe you, but you keep saying a couple words just over and over again. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe you here. So, all right. So now that we got that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the last segment we got here tonight, the high stakes, high rewards. Ladies and gentlemen, since I am here with my guest today, Sydney Swinton, who is a gambler like me, a card extravaganza extraordinaire, or whatever you want to call him, breaker. I'm so bad at that. Like, I don't do breaks all the time. I just do breaks. So, this guy, on the other hand. So, what plug your what's the breaks there again?
So I mean, I do my own. I have a TikTok. It's Squid Rips Cards. I just sell cards or do breaks, or I have like a pull box, just different things. If you're into football cards, check me out. I got some really good ones.
Yeah,
probably got your favorite player. Check me out.
Yeah, there's a couple of nice Trask cards he's got in there, and I want them, but I'm like, I just don't know. Do I actually want them? Does he actually start? Like, I don't even know. So, quick update on the game. It is still 1-0, ladies and gentlemen, for your Tampa Bay Lightning. My over bet tonight of 6 is not looking that great right now, so hopefully my baseball picks actually come out. Speaking of picks, I got my first 5 for week 1 already down below there, ladies and gentlemen. You can take a look, and you can debate it all you want. Here's the one that a lot of Buccaneer fans are going to come at me for right now. Is they're like Dallas +2. Like, Mr. Fulbert, you think Dallas is going to keep it that close? I actually think Dallas has more of an opportunity to win week 1 than a lot of Buccaneers would like to swallow and think about. Okay, like, swallow your pride. We're a good team. Okay, so is Dallas. Micah Parsons, right? Micah Parsons is a very, very good player. That defense is underrated more than people would like to admit. And last year, me and Harry the Greek, shout out to him from 1252 Sports. He and myself had this nice bet going through the whole entire summer, where he said the Cowboys are going to win that game. And I said, no, it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? But Dallas can cover. And that's the whole thing. And what happened? Dallas covered. And that's, I won. I won a lot of money off that because I put it in there with this nice back and forth. I'm reversing it this year. I think Dallas can win. But I'm being smart. I'll take the Dallas +2. I think the Buccaneers, if they do pull out a win, it's only going to be by probably a field goal. And the field goal is not going to be to win it in overtime. It would be because they're down by 2 points or a point or something like that. I think it would be that ridiculously close. So I do think that is probably my, I hate to say it, it's almost my lock. But that New Orleans and Atlanta over 41.5.
I like that one.
What planet does anyone actually think that the Atlanta Falcons have a defense? Sorry, Kyle.
Exactly.
Sorry. And the only reason I say that is the Atlanta Falcons. Score update. Colorado has officially just tied it 1-1. Sorry about that, Tampa Bay Lightning fans. The over 6 is looking a little bit better. Still not looking great. It's a bunch of drunk rednecks shooting their guns off in the shit. No, I'm just kidding. Just because they have the game in Colorado, I just know there's a lot of guns and hillbillies and whatnot there. So when they get all rowdy, they shoot the guns up in the air. They're like, yeah, Colorado and stuff, right? No, they're all high with their legal weeds and stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, American stereotypes. I'm sorry. Anyways, the Atlanta and New Orleans game, they call it at over 41.5. So if you look at the score, you mean to tell me that Atlanta wouldn't be able to put up at least 3 touchdowns themselves? Like, they could put up 2. Kyle Pitts is probably almost guaranteed to be one of them. I would assume Drake London's going to get a lot of, yards as well. But the main thing is the New Orleans side. New Orleans Jameis Winston's going to put up like 28 points. And even if they put up 21 and they go to overtime, there's your over right there. So my 2 locks right now is that Dallas +2, where I'm like, I'm leaning into it. But that New Orleans versus Atlanta over 41.5, I'm locking that already. I will drop a lot of money in there and state that that's probably going to happen. I know I saw, what did he say here? Atlanta will have a way better defense than a lot of people think. Just you wait. No, I agree. I just think that your defense right now, right off the bat, it needs time to get into the mold of what it is. So saying that they're not going to allow 21 points is like, I don't know. So I still think you're going to be fine, but that's still my lock. What do you got for week ones here out of any of these guys? What do you kind of got as like your lock, or what do you think is going to happen here?
I'll just go based off of your picks here. I love the Jacksonville +4. That one's probably my favorite of the bets you got going on. I like the Raiders money line. I think that's a good one. Yeah. I am opposite on you though on the Dallas Tampa Bay one. Tampa Bay got worse in the offseason, losing their key players, but so did Dallas. And I'm worried the loss of Randy Gregory and the loss of Amari is going to be tough for them to get used to. So I'm not sure if that was like 3, I would take Dallas, but at 2, I think I would take Tampa.
Okay.
And then the Green Bay one makes me nervous because Green Bay always starts slow.
I know.
They got blown out week 1 last year, and you always get a week 5, 6 press conference from Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax, everybody, like, come on, we got a lot of season. So I like 3 of the 4 or 3 of the 5, but the other 2, I think I might be on the opposite end of you.
Fair enough. I can't remember who the heck Green Bay is playing week 1 there. I should have actually put the whole schedule. I've been working on that there. But I liked it because of what actually happened last year. The fact that they got blown out. Yeah. I think Aaron Rodgers is like, let's not start that like that. Let's just have consistency across the board. Because I think he's just going to be underrated in his own little mind this year where like he might actually be the one that's like retiring for sure. Brady might continue on, but I think Rodgers being like, oh, you traded Devontae, you didn't want to play? Oh, and that's how you drafted. Yeah, I'm fucking out of here, man.
Yeah, I can see that too. I mean, for sure. I do think he's, still uber talented, obviously back-to-back MVP and can carry it on his back if he needs to. But
1,000%.
But losing Devontae, I think it's going to take him a little. He lost Devontae and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, so like 2 of his top 3 receivers, and he's just going to take. I think it's going to take a minute to get him back into it, and they lost some defensive players too, didn't like.
They did. Now they did sign. They did sign a couple and drafted some pretty key studs too. So
for sure,
it'll be interesting to see that defense develop into what it's going to be. It's so underrated.
For sure,
so good.
Yeah, they were very good last year.
Very good. And it surprised me. Like I had to start like doing a double take. I'm like, what? Okay, who the hell are these guys? Like, why is there so many good players on this defense here? I knew about Jair Alexander. Yeah, but I'm like,
he was gone almost all the season last year and hurt. Yeah, and they still played good. Yeah,
I could not believe that either. Like I've liked Jair since he got drafted. Like I thought he was going to be absolutely fantastic. But like, man, not like this. Like
Yeah.
he's a shutdown corner up there
Oh,
in
yeah.
Green Bay. So, and then Ash, of course, is and probably not Gallup week 1. Though I
Yeah.
still, for like dynasty purposes, I still have a lot of love and a lot of high hopes for Gallup this year. So
Oh, for sure. Dynasty wise, absolutely, I agree.
oh yeah. All right, buddy. That's it. That's all. I want to thank you for tuning in and thank you for being here. Plug yourself. Tell everybody where they can find you and where your tags and stuff, like your Twitter and all that, so people can follow you.
I mean, mainly I'm on the Let's Talk Football page. Definitely give them a follow. You got a Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all that fun stuff. I'm one of the hosts of a Sunday morning show with my lovely wife and Sean. We host Sunday morning with the Swintons for Let's Talk Football, and then I'm also one of the co-hosts of fantasy football on Let's Talk Football. So I know Andrew's going to drop all the knowledge dynasty-wise, but I'm going to give you more of a redraft league kind of on there, and we're going to go over all that stuff. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Every Sunday right now for the offseason, and then when it kicks back up, I think we usually do Wednesdays or Thursdays for fantasy football. It's going to be a good time.
Perfect. Again, brother, I appreciate you being on the first episode of the new season of NSD. Much love to you and the family, and we will talk to you very, very soon, buddy.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Sydney Swinton of Let's Talk Football, and that is the first episode of the new season. Yeah! It's done. It's done. It's over, man. We can finish this off, man. Let me just grab all these things over here. Oh, wait, I should probably wait till we're off camp. And anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to NSD today with our guest Sydney Swinton. We had the Tampa Bay Buccaneer talk about Bruce Arians and if he is going to draft our quarterback. A little bit of the offseason, what you have to look forward to with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Steeler talk, obviously. Couldn't have Sydney on here without talking about his Steelers and Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, and the rest of the crew down there, Mike Tomlin. We talked a little bit of Arch Manning. We gave you my power rankings down at the bottom. If you want my power rankings full, we'll post them up on the page. They should be there. If they're not there, I'll post them up on there, and you can debate about who the heck is right and who the heck is wrong, where I'm right and where I'm wrong, and this, that, and everything else. High stakes, high rewards. Want to get your bets in, ladies and gentlemen, because this season is going to be killer. That's right. It's going to be a lot bigger because we got news to. Oh, that's right. You want to talk about bigger? Tampa Bay just scored again. That's 2-1 for your Tampa Bay Lightning, ladies and gentlemen. Unless they wave it off, but it looks like they're all depressed and stuff, so it looks like it's going to be a good goal. So this upcoming season, I got giveaways. That's right, because I'm going to have merch. Merch? Yes, I'm finally going to have t-shirts available. That's right. Oh, they're coming. So stay tuned in August when we're going to have t-shirts available. Might actually have ball caps. I'm going to see about that. But we're going to have t-shirts available. You can get the t-shirts available through me. You send a message to NSD or to my personal page. Send me your sizes. It'll be $25, and I will get you a t-shirt. We'll have a bunch of other cool things coming out in the new season. Check it out for your weekly player rankings that'll be updated to the NSD page on Facebook. I'm everywhere, baby. I ain't going anywhere again because I'm back. Because we are getting ready for Detroit 2024, the inevitable rebuild here of Detroit Red Wings, the inevitable surgence of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this upcoming season, and of course, the inevitable growth of this platform along with everybody else's platforms. We are growing something bigger than you all could have ever anticipated. So get ready for more sports knowledge. Get ready for more sports that's coming at you. And while we're at it, let's have a little bit of fun. The last 2 years has been so crazy and so stupid and so, part of my language, fucking ridiculous, that we all need to get out and be a little bit crazy like me. So have a little bit of fun, have a little bit of laughs on your weekend, and we will see you here on Canada Day talking with the member of Let's Talk Football, the co-member. He's not just him, it's Janae. I'm not getting the hit anymore. Thank you, Sid. So you're gonna see him on Canada Day talking about his commies. Commanders. You can't call him the other name. Seems so appropriate, I know. God, I love this show. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to finally close it out here with the intro as my cancel the outro. I'm gonna have to stop talking. This has been always my problem. Bye.